Welcome to another weekend here on the platform. My name is Sam Omashe. How do you go to get a situation where you could see somebody who died and you won't identify by saying he's a Christian, he's a Muslim or anything, and just say somebody died and let us investigate, rather than people just say, okay, if he's dead, let us look. Is he a Muslim or is he a Christian?
I think that is the result of the mistrust of the past. And you know, before I came into office, there were even no-go areas. There were even no-go areas. You dare not go there. If they see a vehicle, they look at the plate number. Where are you coming from? If you are from the south, they know that it's a Christian. So what is bringing him to this area? And then they look at your outfit. You come to a Christian area, they will say, no, this is a Hausa man. And then they start suspecting you. But for a very long time, we've put down those suspicions now.
No, the stand is still there.
No, it's not there. It's not very much there. Because today, if you go, because that's why we put in lights everywhere. Yeah. For people to do business, to interact and do their business, even in the night, to do business. They are there, but not the way we knew them before. You see, now go to Angwarogo, you see Igbo men trading there. You go to areas like Jenta, you will see Hausa man selling his things there. So it is gradual. You can't overcome all of them at once. But these are parts of the aspect, and let's call it political aspect. Somebody will go, even call activities. We've investigated so many cases and we realized that they were all cult activities from the university. But what they do is that when they engage themselves in the night, tomorrow they see dead bodies, they quickly run and say, no, it was Christian Muslims. Yeah. And then people are sleeping in the night, wake up in the morning, it's concluded that it's Christian. If it's a Christian that is killed, it's Muslim that kill him. Then the nearest church, they start burning the church. But however, like I said, we have all those things packaged in our peace and conflict management for sensitization and for proper education. And people are beginning to get educated to the level that when you start doing that, they say, no, let us first investigate. And so in the process of investigation, you of course know that we have a lot of hoodlums. People who are jobless, people who are into drugs, people who are taking a lot of things, and then when they take this kind of opportunity, those are the ready-made materials that will always go and start burning without reasoning. And so when we saw them, some of them are asked, I said, you said it was a Muslim who killed him. Do you know the Muslim that killed him? They said, no, our suspicion is that that area is populated by Muslims. So because he was killed there, we assume that it was a Muslim that killed him.
Now, the template, have you had to renew it? Have you had to update it?
It's a 5-year plan template. It's a 5. I think a lot of when the president launched it was the president who launched it for us here. Yes. And the thing, when the president read it briefly, he said, "I recommend this to every state." I made that position to the governors, to the northern governors. I said, "But we have a template in Plateau that the president recommended to all of you. Only 6 states have been to this state to study. 6 states sent their delegation." Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Kaduna, I think Taraba also. About 6 states came. They took almost 2 weeks here studying the template, so that they can also go and pass the law. Kaduna went, I think, unfortunately, I would say, it didn't pass that as law, but it did it as an agency. After a while, I think it collapsed. But then what we said is that we're doing it, passing it by law, so that they can outlive us, outlive our tenure. Yeah. It will not be a political arrangement. Now, this group will be there to be doing the work even when we leave office. And when people see them, they are not really politicians. They are people who want peace. As they are doing it, they are helping the government. And it's an institution passed by law. Nobody will come and then quickly say, I know I'm dissolving this by law. If you want to dissolve it, you will go back to the House of Assembly, just like we did. So within that, a lot of things are there, but we've just taken it for about the 2nd year now. I think by the time we get to the 4-year development plan, we want to make it like a permanent peace in Plateau State.
Before the election, there was this fear that the arrangement between the two dominant Christian groups was going to be shattered between the Cocking and the Catholic.
Yes.
You're a Catholic and your deputy is Cocking.
Yes.
And your predecessors had Cocking Catholic, Cocking Catholic.
Yes.
And why would that kind of arrangement be threatened?
Well, I think I still say politics in politics. Once you see sometimes conflict, you see it's politicians that bring those conflicts. There were so many things that were brought against me. When I contested in 2014, the former governor himself and some people said I was not even an indigenous of Plateau. They said by my tribe, by my history, I am Juku. So by our people, Shetland people, they say we are Juku. And Jukun are predominantly in Taraba State.
Yes.
So they are not supposed to be here. They say I'm Jukun. I accepted, yes. I went to Taraba and Taraba were welcoming me. They say, oh, this is another Jukun song. Another Jukun song. They had forgotten that this place was Benue Plateau. General Chiwa Danjuma is Jukun. Is Jukun. But he's from Taraba State. They developed and created Benue Plateau State. I made the headquarters here in Jos. Yes, for my history, everybody in Plateau State comes from somewhere. Some of them from Chad, some of them from Borno. I'm even happy that they say my own name, Juku, from Taraba. But Taraba is in Nigeria. Some people are from Chad. So let them go back to Chad. Let them go back to Chad or Cameroon. But those were things that politicians were bringing. Now they said I was from that place. But people still voted for me. That Juku, that Plateau Juku.
But they thought that you were.
So I won the election. Now when we came back to this election, they started with the issue of crisis. We were able to nip the crisis in the bud. Then they went for issue of that I was going to create emirate, create this, and I know the process of creating emirate. You can't create emirate when there is no request from traditional council. And the issue of dispute about Jos North was already settled. It has been long settled by Supreme Court who owns Jos. But some people denied those people from enjoying the fruit of that judgment. And so what I did was to take back this Supreme Court judgment. And I said, yes, if the Supreme Court said, Anabuta owns Jos. The traditional institution has been like that since. And the dispute has always been who owns Jos. The Broms were claiming it, Jarawa were claiming it, Anabuta were claiming it, the Hausas were claiming it. And I used the Supreme Court judgment. I wanted to be very clear. I said, Anabuta, from Supreme Court said you own Jos. So let me uplift the transitional stool today to confirm that you own the Jos. It doesn't mean that there are no tribes. But the highest is you. So I gave them I gave them that first class. So when they saw that I had done that one, they now moved into the issue of denomination. That this one is a Catholic, that the other ones are Cocking. My wife is a Cocking. I married my wife from Cocking. There was nothing wrong with my wife being a Cocking. And we have a tradition here from Dare to Jang, the Governor Jang and myself, that each time you are doing this, if a governor is Catholic, the deputy governor will be Cocking. And if a governor was Cocking, the deputy governor would be a Catholic. Yes. So in my own case, I quickly went and I picked Professor Chodel, who is Cocking. But on their side, they even left completely, trying to bring in religious completely religious Cocking agenda. Now to make it look that it was going to be a contest between Cocking and Catholic. But for me, I think we tried to restrain that from the church point of view. We didn't want to blow that up because it will affect the unity of the church. And so as far as I'm concerned, but people also went on board because that worked in the Catholic Church. They say, oh, so it is now that they know that the Catholic Church is a bad church, it is not a good church. So for us, we maintain the Plateau spirit to say that it is not an issue of denominational listen. It's about Plateau. Those who believe in Plateau and those who believe in tribal sentiments. And that was exactly what displayed itself in Plateau. Because those who want to do Plateau project, that was Plateau project. It started with Plateau project in 2014, and that was continuation of Plateau project.
That's what you mean by think Plateau and
Think
act.
Plateau and act Plateau. Not your tribe. We are not talking about tribe now. If you talk about tribe, you now move into denomination. A denomination. So again, and I think as far as I'm concerned, that one died again, a natural death. So we are now trying to reintegrate people into the church, reintegrate the ethnic device, so that people will see Plateau as their own. Plateau as a good place for people to settle, even foreigners. At the time, Plateau State was seen as the only one that has a lot of majority of foreigners in Nigeria settled in one place. So why should we drive them away if they are going to add value to the state? And so I said that my spirit, when I took an oath, and I took an oath with the Bible, to say that is to defend everybody that is settled in my state. No tribal affiliation, no religious division. It's to accommodate everybody, to protect them, and to protect not only their lives but also their properties, their properties. And so when you do that, what you do is complete Plateau spirit. And so if you want to act, if you want to think about Plateau, you must also act as Plateau.
Yes. Now, congratulations as the new chairman of the Northern Governors Forum.
Thank you.
Now, it's been a very interesting period to be in the North. People believe now that the North is more insecure than the South. In those days, it used to be that when you are traveling up north, you are going down south.
Yes.
You're always confident that everything will be okay until you started going down south to be worried about hoodlums and so on. It's the opposite now. Some people say it is a religious thing, some people say it is actually a kind of subtle, it's an uncoordinated Tarakawa revolt, because the rich, whether you are governor, whether you are Fulani, whether you are Christian or Muslim, they are being targeted for kidnapping and for violence and so on. Now, as Northern Governors Chairman, you have the task on your hand. Having brought this kind of template here, do you think it can work in the North?
Thank you very much for that. I even asked them why they considered me for as the chairman of the Governors Forum, because I come from a minority in the North. I will say from a Christian minority in the North. But I've always seen that the issue of minority or non-minority does not matter to me, because I grew up to see North as one. I grew up to see a mixture of people being appointed here and there. When there was war, all of us gang up together to fight the war. So there should be no division on that basis. But all along, I think maybe the action of our leaders. Somebody asked me a question on the day of debate. He said, "Are you thinking of issue of Christian minority, the middle belt concept?" I said, "No. For me, I don't believe in middle belt now. I don't. Because the spirit of that middle belt is not what we practice. Somebody will wake up for political reason, go and say, no, I belong to Arewa Consultative Forum. I don't believe in middle belt. Tomorrow, when it suits him, for convenience, he will run and say, I belong to middle belt, I don't believe in North. North is a geographical division. So let us make the North to work. Let us not make the North to work. And two, the fact that we are won by America, where the American ambassador, American representative, even the president came and said, look, be very, very careful about population explosion. And this explosion is not going along with education. And if it's not going along with education, it's going to be a danger to the North. All of us look at it, governors. And instead of handling it, many people shy away. I recall some of our governors saying, who will start? They say, who will start? Some of them will say, no, we have 2 or 3 wives with many children. If we start, they will say, okay, let's go and be the example. But whether we like it or not, this is the beginning of what we are seeing. If you have a population, you must also have commensurate education. At one time, it was introduced in the past, nomadic education. Secondly, this nomadic education was also to help the Fulanis who are in the bush. who help them in the bush to get them educated. Now, education will take people away from some of these vices that we see today, and along nomadic. When we spoke about nomadic education, you have a lot of population without jobs. People are moving without jobs. Now, in this government, they said, we said change. We came with the change. But along the line, nobody will be patient to wait and see change. He wants to see change directly for what is happening to him. Now, the change is not coming very fast. Of course, not due to the problem of the administration, and because I'm part of the administration. A lot of damage was already made, and it takes gradual period to also amend some of these damages. And so when you see that, now we started seeing mistrust, just like it's displayed in Plateau, between Christians and Muslims, because Fulani is seen as Muslim, and the farmer non-Fulanis are seen as Christians, as farmers. So we saw this kind of conflict moving here and there. Today it has moved from herdsmen, farmers, to banditry, to kidnapping. And the kidnapping is not a tribal thing. It's just like cattle rustling. We saw first cattle rustling. Part of the problem we had here was cattle rustling. And cattle rustling was not restricted to a tribe. Anywhere you caught people doing cattle rustling, you have different tribes. You will see a Hausa man, you see an Igbo man, you see an indigenous in that place, and other people, because
and they all work together.
They work together.
It was one Nigeria.
One Nigeria is a cartel of business. A cartel of business. Yeah. So anytime you caught them, we try to manage cattle rustling. So today we are seeing banditry. Banditry. People moving about, killing people in the bush, killing people for no reasons. Reasons you cannot even explain. We are moving from banditry to now kidnapping. They will kidnap somebody. By the time you start, you will find them speaking different languages. Because when they are calling, they are speaking different languages. To tell you that it is not one man that is there. That is a mixture of different tribes. And so they are beginning to even indoctrinate and bring out some of these younger ones who have no jobs. So we have a very, very big tax ahead of us. So that is why I said it's bigger than what I see in Plateau. So when they took me, I thought it was just like sacrificing me. But I begged them and I said, look, this is a very big tax for me. To say you attempt to do that. First, as a Christian, within Muslim dominated region, is going to be a very huge tax. Two, to manage the level of unemployment that we have in the north, and also about emphasizing on education. We must create the jobs and also emphasizing about education. And I'm very grateful that even from the first tax that we attempted to do, we are all united on that cause.
On the issue of education.
On the issue of education, on the issue of insecurity. And insecurity entails that you must educate people. You must find ways of educating people. You must also find ways of getting jobs for the jobless.
How will you argue a state like Zamfara?
Well, Zamfara is still the same thing that we are talking about.
But this is very complicated because saying that, you know, even the former governor Yari said that he had abdicated his position as chief security officer. When a situation like that arises, I don't know what this new governor will say about that, but when a situation arises, where does it put you as the chairman of the governors in the north?
First of all, it happened here in Plateau State. In Plateau State for 15 years we had crisis.
Yes.
We didn't know how to surmount the crisis. So it is always God's grace. But when I became the governor, I prayed. God gave me wisdom, gave me the wisdom to assemble first the leaders. And so what we are saying is about leadership. It's about leadership. Because in most of these things you will always find failure of leadership. Not sometimes when they say leadership, they believe that it is only the governor who is there. No, it's not about the governor who is there. What about those who are outside? What about those who have been leaders in that place? What are they doing? What is their position? What is their posture towards this kind of conflict? And unless we accommodate and bring them in, we will continue to fight and we'll just be hitting about the bush. So what we intend to do is that, first of all, to get the feelings of our leaders, to appease our leaders, to unite our leaders. When we unite our leaders, we'll be able to massage their ego, for them to realize. You don't even need to tell them, because some of them have been leaders before we were born. We were born, they are still living. To understand that the more they do it, the more the society is getting destroyed, and it will affect everybody. First, we are talking about the unity. We are going to be talking about the unity of the North. We are going to be talking about common interests like agriculture, so that we will also use agriculture to empower people, to take people out of poverty, and take people out of poverty, and also ways of raising revenue to meet up with such requests. So I'm saying these are some of the things that I believe we are going to start doing, and then more ideas are already coming from all the governors, because they are very wonderful. Every governor is now preparing. He's seeing this as #1 priority for the North. And so if they see it that way, and I get cooperation from them, I believe that we'll get over it.
I hope that part of the solution has to do with how to handle the panoply of forests in the North, where they believe all of these bandits are nesting.
Yes, but that is part of the insecurity that we're talking about. Because as it is now, some of them, when they kidnap you, they go to the forest. And bandits settle in the forest. These things are things that it will not be a one-day thing. It's a very, very serious issue. I see that as a very, very serious issue. So we are collectively putting our heads together in the North, and very soon we will find solutions to some of them.
Okay, that is good to know. And I see that, to conclude, I see that you are finding enough peace now to adopt animals. I saw your elephant today.
Yes.
And the lion.
Yes.
I didn't see the lion. The lion was hiding, but I saw the lioness that your wife is also.
Maybe you didn't go with something to give the lion. If you wanted to see the lion, if you go with a goat, throw it and you see two of them.
I understand that you gave goats to one of them.
Yes, we gave them 2 goats, and they came out.
Yes.
They came out to welcome us because we gave them food to eat.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but some people have said that you need to put more money in tourism. So
well, what we are doing is if you want really tourism to strive, you cannot continue to leave it in the hands of government. That's my belief. So what we are doing is to raise the consciousness so that investors can come. Imagine that place. If I was a businessman, I would have gone into it. This is one thing that the first governor brought. Yes. He read zoology. He was a very good expert in zoology. J.D. Gongo read zoology, I think. He read zoology, and I understand he made the first class. He made class. And when he became a governor, he brought in white men from everywhere. The first thing he did was to set up this wildlife. The zoo, the idea of the zoo and everything. He knew what he was doing. With this kind of weather, what you need to do is to put it as a holiday resort for people. That was why we had a large settlement of white people here. But after a while, military administration came, they didn't bother about that. And then our own administration, 2 elected governors came, and they didn't bother about that. One time we saw a lion escape. We didn't know how it was escaped. Yes. Did our investigation up to now, we didn't know, but what we did was to buy another one. Because when the guards saw it and they shot the lion, which is not the normal way.
They told me they don't use the word kill, they said they quelled it.
whatever it is, I was not in the country. Yeah. I was not happy when that lion was shot. I wasn't very happy. But it was also a signal to us to be able to keep them safe and also to continue to feed the animals, because you can't go and be seeing an animal that is very, very hungry. It's even dangerous. So right from that moment, immediately they had that lion. I quickly bought another one. I wish you saw that one. Yes. We brought another one, a very big one. Yes. So 2 of them are there. And then the elephant, so many years it has been there. I used to know there were 3. I don't know what happened to the other 2 now. But one of them is still there. So to encourage people, I said, okay, let us learn to adopt them. Let us do something as private individuals. I was not doing it in my capacity as a governor. I said I'm doing this in my capacity as private, apart from what government would be doing. And when I left, and I was just going to Abuja immediately, I saw a phone call, and two or three of them were white men. And the white men, they said their names. They said, "We saw what you did to the animals, so we're also interested. Can you give us 2 or 3 of the animals to also adopt the animals so that we'll go and be visiting them?" So very soon.
They could adopt the crocodile. So many of them there.
Yeah, people have even I already indicated interest. At one time, you go to the wildlife now, and you will see. If you are not careful, if you better go and pick one, so that they will write Sam. Sam, this is Sam. This is adopted by Sam. Yeah. My friend Bishop Puka called me and said, "Look, what about snakes? Who are adopting snakes?" I said, "I will give you one."
The python. On that note, we come to the end of this interview. We've had the governor of Plateau State, the Right Honorable Simon Bako Lalong. Thank you very much for being on this.
I'm very grateful, Sam. Thank you.
Well, thank you for watching the program. Today you can catch up with me and my published column on www.samomashaye.com. Also follow me on Twitter. My handle is @SamOmashaye. And until next time, be good.